Hey everybody, this is Herschel Froome from High School Top 200. This Tamaki College review for 2016 is brought to you by Fineline Barbers. Now what Fineline Barbers has done is that they've got together with some of the major barbering suppliers here in New Zealand, and they're putting on a Aotearoa Barber competition in 2017 next year, September. What this Aotearoa Barber competition is a competition to find out who the best barbers in New Zealand are. You don't have to have your certificate, your barber certificates. If you're just real talented and cutting up in your shed or whatever, you can come and also apply and get into the competition. They are setting up, what Fineline Barbers is doing is they're setting up a Facebook page and also an Instagram page for barbers around the country to upload their work so that we as a public can see what kind of work you got and how talented you are, and different kind of cuts and things like that. So have a look out for that, the Aotearoa Barber competition. It's going to bring the barbering industry sort of to light and to the public so that we can see what talent we have here in the country, and you can also get cut up by your favorite barber on the day, even if they don't live within your area or whatever. So have a look out for that, the Aotearoa Barber competition in September 2017. Tamaki College is a up and coming, they're not a 1A team, they're a 1B team, which is the second division in Auckland. They are an up-and-coming rugby program that is finally, I think they've finally set their foundation for what they want the school to be and what they want the reputation to be in terms of rugby, and they're starting to build a reputation for being a big talent school on the rise kind of thing. So Scott Mansell, who's the head coach there, he is put together, along with his coaching staff, they've put together a good program down there, up there, and they're getting together the talent in the school, and then they're making sure that they teach them the fundamentals of what rugby is, what the position is, and then also implementing a system and a structure into the game plan, so the boys know exactly what's going on within their school and within the rugby program. So last year they actually made a really good push for themselves. Failed to make the finals, but they made an impression on everybody that was playing, and everyone that they were playing in the 1B, and then even some of the 1A schools took notice of who they were and what they were doing, and basically this year they knew that they were going to be one of the best teams because the system is set up the way that it is to go from the 1B to the 1A. Tamaki was not a part of it, so they couldn't actually move up this year. I personally think that they were a 1A team this year, just stuck in the bottom level. So, in all honesty, for teams like Ongehanga and Otahu and Aorere, even to the point of maybe Kelston and maybe Auckland Grammar, but they would have beaten most of those teams. They would have beaten maybe four out of the six teams kind of thing. Because they were just talented all around. They were just a well-balanced team with talent, size, speed, guys that were fundamentally sound in terms of their position. And so for this team, going throughout the whole year, they just went on the field and won every game. They never actually lost a game this year. They drew in the finals against Liston College, who was also another good college that I think could have actually did a little bit of damage in the 1A. And like, people got to remember actually that I think that they can actually extend the 1A. Personally, I think that they extend their 1A to maybe two more teams, because the talent level in Auckland is getting better and better and better. There's a lot more talent, a lot more talented guys around there. So they had two teams in the 1B that I thought they could challenge the 1A teams, and Tamaki was definitely one of those teams. They went through the whole year unbeaten. They drew in the finals with Liston. I think one of the only knocks that I could see on Tamaki College was that there were a couple of times in a couple of games where I think that they could have got bigger scores, but then they actually played to the level of their competition. And it was frustrating to watch sometimes because I knew that they were 25 points better than this other team when they played only to the extent of being 13 points better. And so that's frustrating when you see a team like that, because you know that, and maybe the guys were feeling themselves a bit too much about it, but and their success that they were having, but that's kind of stuff that younger players need to learn and get out of their head. Kind of thing is just like give the respect to the team that you're going against, and then play them like you respect who they are. Play them like you respect that at any point these guys could actually beat you, which in some of these teams and some of these games these teams did. Edgewater got really close to beating them. Mangry College actually put up a good fight. Botany Downs, which is one of the games that I went to, that there was only 10 points difference when I think there should have been like 20 points difference. Games like that, Tangaroa actually really put some pressure on them too. And so like there were teams like that and games like that where I think that they could have maybe played a bit better and maybe kept to their systems and their structures. And I think that's really what it is that they got off what they were supposed to be doing. Next year, Tamaki College is obviously going to go for the 1A. I actually think they're going to get through. I think they have to play Otahu, but I'm pretty confident that they have a team that can come back. They have a really good front row coming back as well, and guys like like Ronnie Wright this year was their main dude, and he could basically do everything. He was the go-to guy when they got into a bit of trouble, and so he's another guy that they're going to miss next year. But he's the one that set the standard for them, I think, for them believing in themselves. Kisi Sau and Tim Fatialofa, who are year 12s, they benefited out of Ronnie being at second five, as well as Jordan Schwanke and even Junior Mafaleo, who's year 11, and he was playing fullback this year. He's another guy that you just benefit from these older guys that can be real versatile, and they can be a real influence on your game. Jordan Markia, who was the number 8, I thought that he was also a player that was pretty sort of underrated, even within the Blues camp. Like, I thought that if you get him in a situation with other players in that level, that he would shine a bit more. But even this year, Jordan did great with Kitiona and also Miracle at 6 and 7, who are going to be returning next year as well. And then their big front row, who are also going to return back again next year too. And so like they had a lot of players around the fields that were real big inspirations, and that kind of brought these young guys up. And so hopefully next year they have that platform, that belief, that system structure, and just that know-how of that we can get further than what a lot of teams expect us to be. I look forward to seeing what comes back from them next year, and I look forward to seeing the growth of the boys, especially the physical growth of these boys, knowing in their minds, yeah, we could do this in our minds, and we've got the mental part of it down. Now let's get our physical side of it, get in the gym, work out. I mean, they've already started their preseason. Like, if you haven't started preseason yet, you're in a lot of trouble. You got to start figuring it out the year before. But that's what Tamaki College is doing. So everybody else that is looking out there for a team that may be a surprise, don't be surprised if Tamaki College is up there, because they're the real thing. So that's a big shout out to Coach Scott Mansell and his team that he's got there, his coaching staff that he's got there, and then we're going to see what they can do with them next year. Look out for Tamaki College, If you want a hard game for the preseason, hit these fellas up, because I think that they'll be a good tester team for your team to see where you're going to be at. That's my review for this year. Peace.